Right, hello. As I'm sure you're all aware by now, legendary mangaka and creator of Dr. Slump and Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama, sadly passed away on the 1st of March. I can't express how sad I am to have heard the news last night at around 3 AM. And really, I just wanted to say my own personal goodbyes and express quite how much his work meant to me and millions of others out there. My personal journey with Dragon Ball started young. It's a series I've loved for as long as I can remember. However, I think for me, my fondest early memory was meeting my now extended family. The very first time I stepped into their house and met my stepbrothers and sister, there was a bright and shiny PS2 sat there with a copy of the newly released Budokai Tenkaichi, sitting inside of it. This copy, to be exact. I just have this insanely vivid memory of sitting next to my older brother on the sofa, choosing Piccolo for the very first time and just having a blast. That game was pretty influential for my whole family, as from that point on, we went back to finding the original Budokais, as well as the newer releases of Tenkaichi 2 and 3 as they released. But for all of us, that first game holds a special place. From that point, I was hooked. My father, who had owned a comic book shop in the past, gave me some items to really cement my journey into this series. I had these 1989 figures of Gohan and Vegeta, which still sit upon my shelf. And I got into the manga not through the typical and traditional sense, but through the Viz comic books. As we grew, we watched the series. It became a passion of mine, especially as I played every game, watched the movies. Currently, I'm a first-class film graduate, and I love post-production visual effects, but go back far enough, and the first instance of visual effects in my family stems from the classic Kamehameha. I'm convinced there isn't a single person out there who knows Dragon Ball and hasn't tried to turn Super Saiyan or fire off a Kamehameha blast at least once. The elements of his manga are beyond iconic. I personally can't think of any other series that's been more widely parodied out of love. In movies, TV shows, games, animated shows, manga, and just general across all media, across the entire globe. As we grew, myself and my sister retained our love, while my brothers, while having a nostalgia, pivoted away, which is completely fair. I made friends through the Raging Blast series, went through primary school trying to draw things. I could just consume the same few sagas over and over again, and it'll still be fresh, be it on older hardware or new, great games or games considered bad that I loved anyway because it was Dragon Ball. Come 2012, and the series, long thought to be over, is having a sudden new burst of life through Battle of Gods. I personally remember being in Australia at the time, and to say it was my obsession is an understatement. In Australia at the time, video rental shops were still a thing. So during my stay, I went down and just grabbed as many Dragon Ball movies and copies of the show as I could. Super Android 13 I have an especially vivid memory of, but sitting there and doing constant research, seeing Beerus for the first time, thinking a Super Saiyan God would look like this, good times. I made videos on how to make Goku in a variety of games.
And I'm going to do something that I don't think anyone's done on YouTube. I am going to be doing a tutorial on how to make Goku on Saints Row 4. You thought I was going to say 3-1, didn't you?
I even met my current best friend of what feels like eons now, David, who I'm currently working on a Dragon Ball themed video series with, through a mutual love of anime and manga, which I never would have had if not for Toriyama's work. Furthermore, many of my favourite and the most impactful series to my personal life have been directly inspired by his work, and seeing messages from both Masashi Kishimoto and especially Eiichiro Oda talking about how they both got into this industry due to his work, and how incredible it was to have that admiration turn into friendship, really struck a chord with me. Currently, my sister's house is chock full of Dragon Ball, and I've adorned my room with memorabilia. I've been lucky enough to first-hand experience an entire new series and a new manga run, to watch every new movie at the cinema, and to enjoy every new experience from Xenoverse to Kakarot. With Sparking Zero on the horizon and Daima taking us back to a feeling of that original series that started it all, it's both saddening but fitting. I know this has been a bit of an incoherent mess, and it might not come across the way I want it to, But the work of this man really has strengthened my bond with my family and my friends alike. It's steered and influenced my life, giving me hope and joy even in the darkest of times. Spanning continents, as I now have a series of fantastic friends all across the globe through our mutual enjoyment of these series. I don't know how to segue into the end of this video, other than to make a tribute. It's been the year of the dragon, and Kakarot just released the end of Z. So as Toriyama, like Goku, rise off into the beyond atop Shenron, I'll dedicate my new playthrough and reread of the original series to you, as I leave off with all I can say, which is thank you.
Vegeta, thanks.
For what? I should be thanking you, Kakarot.
Nah, what do you mean? I loved every minute. Goodbye, my friend.